Hello and welcome back to another video in which I'm ranking all of the Office episodes. And for today, we are starting off with Season 7. Pretty excited for this kind of ranking. And yeah, so without further ado, let's cue the music. And yeah, so for the way the ranking goes, I usually just go over it real quick. So for the S tier, it's constant rewatch episodes I'll rewatch, not constantly, but like more of I'll go back and rewatch whenever I'm feeling like watching The Office. A tier, it's really great, just a little bit behind the constant rewatches, but I'll sometimes rewatch these episodes. B, it's good, not great. It's kind of in the tier list of which it's an okay episode. C, it's neutral, a little bit behind, good, not great. D, it's unmemorable, just boring. E, it's terrible. And F, it's just one of those episodes I always skip, and it's a constant skip. But yeah, so with all that out of the way, I guess we could just start off with the season opener of season 7, which is nepotism. In this episode, it follows Michael hiring his nephew Luke, or also Peter from X-Men. I thought it was pretty cool when I saw him in this. But I will put nepotism in. It's a really good, really great episode. I will put it above probably Product Recall. Yeah, it's basically it's a really. I already explained the episode, but it's a really good episode. And the side plot is with Pam. Pam trying to play a prank on Dwight because she kind of laughed too hard while Jim was trying to put more keys on his key rink because he's the new manager of the building after last season's ending, and it's a pretty good episode. I do like the little kind of during that little side plot, like Dwight just starts going bathroom because he starts panicking. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, in the next episode we got counseling. Counseling is when I missed the big whole plot. So basically Michael, while he's firing his nephew, he ends up spanking his nephew, and I think it's a pretty hilarious episode because of that, and also because he wants to reconcile with his sister, his cousin sister. So I think it's a pretty funny episode. But counseling is following that timeline and or that plot basically. He has to take counseling with Toby, and because he has to do it with Toby is because Toby's the HR rep, and he has to be the one to kind of basically do therapy with Michael. And in this episode, it kind of shows that Toby's kind of breaking him down, like Michael starts off pretty strong, but then after a while, he just starts breaking down to Toby, and I think it's pretty hilarious. But Michael does catch on, and I think it's all around. It's a pretty good episode. So counseling, I'm gonna put it in a really great episode. I'll put it probably right by 2 weeks. Yeah, I think I'd put it right there. So in the next episode we have Andy's Play, which is get that ad out of here. Andy's Play, it's just following Michael getting rejected of playing Sweeney Todd, and also Andy and his group comes in and they just kind of do this whole role of just singing about Sweeney Todd. I've never seen the play at all. It looks interesting, but don't find myself ever seeing it. But Andy's Play is he tries to get with Erin, but she's now with Gabe, and he tries to go and he basically tries to win her back by kind of showing that he's in a play and such. So it's not a bad episode. So Andy's Play, I think it's pretty good. I'll put it. It's a good, not great episode. I'll put it behind the Chump. Yeah. Sex Ed. This is one with Michael calling all of his exes, telling him that he has STDs because he has a I don't know if it's a cold. They convince him it's a cold sore and it's basically herpes. And I honestly I think this is probably one of my favorite episodes because it teases of Holly returning, and I love Holly. Holly's amazing. And also on the side plot, it shows Andy teaching the other employees about sex ed and why sex is kind of bad and such, and or well, trying to have like safe sex and such. So honestly, I think, and seeing a stable Jan, which is so weird after so long, I think it's pretty crazy. So sex ed, I'd put it in. It's a really great episode, I will say. It's not S tier. I don't come back to this episode a lot, but I'm gonna probably put it in fun run. Yeah. So the next episode we have this thing, which is basically introducing the new character. Well, it's not really a new character. He doesn't really. He kind of pops in and out of the season. I don't know if he's in the next seasons, but basically Danny Cordray. I know him from Die Hard only because like I grew up with that movie. I don't know why. I always just remember him as the bad guy from Die Hard. But anyways, with that out of the way, I just he's okay in this. It's like basically they're just trying to. Michael and Dwight are on a sales call. They see him and they need kind of the big gun, which is basically Michael, and Michael's giving a meeting to the employees, but they call him saying they need this help because Danny Cordray, and he basically steals the salesman because he's like the top traveling salesman, what Todd Packer is. So basically they try to tell him to like, hey, you should come help us, and Michael ends up convincing Danny Cordray to be on as their traveling salesman. And honestly, it's not a bad episode. I think it's a pretty hilarious bit with Meredith and Danny Cordray like talking. But all around, I give it a pretty good a gritty really great episode because it also has a subplot with Andy trying to form a band, and they have Daryl and it's Kevin, and I really like all three of them together. I'll probably put it by broke, yeah. So in the next episode we have costume contest. This is one I don't really like. I like all the parties. I like all the kind of the things that they do with The Office, but in this one it's very cringy to watch. I mean it's a good plot, yeah, but I think it's gonna go into good, not great. Maybe it's like a low, good, not great. It's like by, it's probably we'll put in the last one because it's between good, not great, and neutral. It's for me, it's just basically following Michael getting mad that Daryl went over his head to talk to Gabe about his ideas, and what's it called? My Jim and Pam are basically trying to go to Danny Cordray and ask why he didn't call her back, and it's that I don't like the subplot of just them pegging on why he didn't call him back or call her back, and why basically just basically trying to fish in the water that doesn't want to be fished at. And I don't know, I have no idea what I just fucking said, but essentially, it's for me. It doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit in one of my top tier, in one of my top tier episodes that I would go and rewatch. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to explain why I don't really like this episode, but yeah. In the so the next episode, christening, it's an okay episode. I'd put it like in the neutral. It's good, not great. Nothing crazy happens, but basically Jim and Pam are having their kid christened at Angela's church, and she's just being all nice and such, and it's pretty, corny, but Michael sees like the group of kids, and they're all ready to go and build a church down in Mexico, and basically he's getting all hyped up and ready to go. So he ends up kind of joining them until he realizes what he's gotten himself into, and then he asks his Aaron to come pick him up, and Andy also goes with him. It's an okay episode. Nothing really crazy just happens. It's just Michael finding his own going on his little sub quest, and honestly, it's an okay episode. Nothing too crazy happens. So in the next episode, we have Viewing Party. Viewing Party, I'd put it in a really great episode. I'd put it high up there. I'd put it by the merger. A Viewing Party, it's for me, what really gets this going is I really like Aaron's chemistry with Michael and how it starts to kind of form. Well, not really form, but it's been forming over the past few episodes and the past kind of season a bit. And I like that in this episode, it kind of solidifies that Michael's basically a father figure, not just to Aaron, but to like basically the whole office. And it kind of just lets him know that he has character of that, and or not really character of that, but like just has a really good character growth after this episode. And I really like that character dynamic that Aaron and Michael have. So all in all, I really enjoy this episode. I don't really like the kind of... Well, I like this episode, but I just don't like the little... basically, Michael just kind of being like being like a child, but it kind of gets overshadowed by Michael and Aaron's scene. So, yeah. So in the next episode, we have butttt. This was a pretty good episode. I put it in like a high really great, or like in the middle of the really great. Yeah. butttt is basically following Michael and the other investors like Pam, Kelly, and some of the others, basically investing in Ryan's his wolf site. And it's basically just like, if someone sends you a message, everything around you that you have it connected to, like your email or your phone number, it'll send you a message. And it's okay. A lot happens in this episode. Basically, Dwight being Hey King, Jim meeting his commission cap, and they won't pay him a little bit more, and Michael trying to make a decision on whether to kind of pull out because he's also kind of like the co-owner of the wolf.com, and he basically convinces Ryan to sell out. And it's an all around, it's a pretty good episode. Nothing really crazy happens about it, but yeah, so I think it's an all around, it's a pretty good episode. For the next episode, we have China. This one, I think it's pretty good. It's a pretty good episode. It's like the low, really great, yeah, but I'd come back and rewatch this one. It's just basically following Michael, showing that he's smarter than Oscar, only because he read not a title, but like he read like a little magazine that was inside of kind of a waiting room, and Oscar kind of tests him on it, but Michael kind of knows because he already read it, and basically they just kind of bounce back and forth, and then they realize that, or not, they didn't realize, they kind of, it shows that Michael has a little bit of knowledge against Oscar, and Oscar's ego is a little hurt by it, so he challenges Michael to kind of butt heads with him about what they know about the kind of the things that are going on in the world. So yeah, it's a pretty good episode. And also, just the side plot is basically Pam against Dwight, because Dwight doesn't want to give back like their tissue, and because he's been like splitting up the half ply. And it's a pretty good episode, and just shows like Dwight's character growth and Dwight's kind of friendship and relationship with Pam, and basically them growing as a character. And I like that. Oh my god, the day has arrived. arrived.
The day has arrived.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't believe we made it this far. I can't believe we made it this far. I absolutely love this episode. This episode is like my constant rewatches. I will watch it over all the episodes that I've watched. Wait, hold on. Let me retake that back. Well, it is up there. It is up there. It is probably above Dinner Party. I will say it is probably one of my favorite episodes because it involves, drum roll, it involves Holly and it involves Michael kind of bashing heads, becoming friends, becoming kind of long lost lovers, and just them splitting up, and then Michael coming back and just realizing that she made an ultimatum with her boyfriend Aaron. No, Aaron? It wasn't Aaron? I think it was Aaron, right? Basically, Toby's gone, and Holly has to replace him because he's basically doing jury duty, and Michael throws the coolest party for Holly because he delays it over. But anyways, I love it. Holly's back. This season has just gotten so much hype now, but yeah, I have a lot. I don't know. There's a lot to say about it, but there's like, I don't want to go on too much because I'm just gonna be rambling on over the same thing. And basically, I love this episode because it involves all the characters having something to do, and Michael with that suit, pretty awesome, pretty slick. And yeah, I love it. I like that it has the feeling that, holy shit, we have went from one whole season without Holly, and basically that's how far we've come, and that's how far it's been gone, or she's been gone, and it's crazy. So, and all other things, I think it's a really awesome. So, in the next episode, we have Ultimatum. Ultimatum. It's It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's a really great episode, but I feel like this episode is really overshadowed by the last episode, Classic Christmas. For me, personally, I don't know if this is like for anybody else, but like for me personally, I don't really like go indulge myself into this episode as much, only because it's just the results of the last episode. So overall, this one is basically Holly and everybody comes back from their break, and Michael is wanting to see if she's married or not, because the ultimatum was Holly's boyfriend basically has to marry her or else they're breaking up. But at the end of the episode, we realize that Holly ends up just breaking it off completely, and this is starting their New Year's resolution, and Pam has made a board for New Year's resolutions, and Michael kind of makes a whole big deal about it, and it just ruins everybody's day, and just he can't accept that she is still with her boyfriend, and he's a little pissed off about it because, as we know from the last one, which was basically employee transfer, she didn't want to do a long distance relationship with Michael, but she wants to do a long distance relationship with her current boyfriend. So basically, you kind of get a little gist of everything, but yeah, it's a little, for me, it's a little drawn back from the last episode. But in all other things, we have the next episode, which is the seminar. The seminar is basically Andy hosting a work seminar, or like a Andy hosts a kind of a work seminar, and Michael and Holly go as Mikos and Desmos, I believe. You might have to fact check me on that, but anyways, so basically it's just them rekindling their love. I'm more focused on that than the whole episode, but basically Jim sees his old friend, and not his old friend, well, basically his old friend, but it's basically the backstory behind that is Jim's mom didn't want Jim hanging out with that guy because he was too dumb. But anyways, Among other things, this episode it's pretty good. It's not bad. It's not good. So I'd put it in the low, really great, because I will come back to rewatch this, but it's not. It's really great. It's not in the good tier. I will say it is. It's in the great tier, not in the great tier, or it's in the great tier, not in the good tier. But anyways, so in the next one we have The Search. Oh my goodness, we know where this was going. The Search for me is S tier. I love this episode. I love that it rekindles Michael and Holly's relationship, and also Aaron kind of bugs me that she's not really on board with this Michael and Holly. You know, that's why she's my less known character that I like, but it's okay. It's basically the reason why they have to search for Michael is basically because Jim got a call saying that Pam's mom left her the baby inside the car, and Jim ends up leaving Michael at the restaurant, not the restaurant, the gas station, because he needed to go bathroom. So basically, he left Michael in the bathroom, and yeah, so Michael just ends up walking around, and he just needs to clear his head because he asks Holly when are they going to get back together, and she says, "Why do we have to be together anyways?" But at the end of the episode, it kind of just it's so beautiful. It's just such a beautiful scene showing them finally getting together. But it is. On to the next episode. We have PDA. Okay. This is it's an okay episode. It's an okay episode. It's a really great episode. It's probably like a little bit down here. Yeah, I'd put. Well, actually, it's a little bit above that. It's like by drug testing at least. So basically, PDA. It's following Michael and Holly's relationship a lot blooming, and they're just basically going crazy over each other, PDA all over the office, and the whole office employees are all being like, you know, you can't be doing that at work. This is a bit weird, and it's very corny, it's very cringy, but you know, I don't know how I feel about the whole, you know, them touching each other at work. It for me it's a little bit much, but the other side plots, I'm not really on board with it. Basically, Pam and Jim trying to find a place to have sex because they're drunk. I'm like, okay, whatever. And basically, Andy and Aaron, I do like their chemistry. Andy and Aaron kind of rekindling their love with kind of trying to get Gabe out of the way because he's just weird. But I don't really like him later seasons, but basically, yeah, so Aaron asks Andy to help him solve Gabe's riddles around the office, and it's okay. It's basically it's okay. But overall, it's a really great episode. I do come back and rewatch this sometimes, but yeah. Threat level midnight. Okay. This one shouldn't even have a intro. This one should just be top tier. So threat level midnight, it's a high S tier only because like it is following the script of that was planted. I think it was back in season 2 or 3. No, definitely 2. So basically, basically Michael's movie and his screenplay of his fantasy character Michael Scarn, and it's just like him in an action movie, like in a James Bond-esque movie, and I like it. I love it. I really enjoy it. But yeah, I've watched the whole thing on YouTube. It's a pretty good film. I just like the corniness, the whole dramatic thing, and I like the little it kind of pulls us out of the movie of Michael kind of just getting hurt that Holly isn't watching, or like Holly's not really as interested and invested as he is, but then that's when his character growth, you know, ding ding ding, he's just he kind of just learns to be kind of not take too much criticism of it, but he's like, hey, it's just a movie, you know, and you know, he loves it, and I love little character moments of that with Michael, and I really enjoy it because it's his character slowly growing again. And threat level midnight, 10 out of 10 I'd give it. So in the next episode we have the return of Todd Packer. I really enjoy this one. This one's probably a rewatch. Not because of his character returning, but I love it because of his character returning for Michael's growth at the end of this one. And it makes me kind of sad because it's like him leaving his best friend to he's detaching himself from his toxic old self to turn into something better and a more kind of suited of a greater person for himself. And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy this little tidbits of his character growing so much in this last season that he's in. And I'm so sad that it is his last season, and I'm also sad that this is also the best last season, and I don't know. I really enjoy it. I love the fact that Jim and Dwight are trying to basically get rid of him, only because he took Dwight's old spot, because apparently that was his old desk, and they want him back to stop being a traveling salesman. And Michael's basically telling Holly that, hey, he's like great, he's really awesome, but Holly doesn't see what everyone else sees, and everything that Todd has done, basically banging the whole office, and basically basically Michael is just like clouded by him just being his best friend, but not really seeing the actual true version of how much of a bad person that Todd Packard really is. And I really enjoy it. I really enjoy that ending, showing that Michael's character has been growing, and he has grown. Oh my god. Oh my god, we're on the scene. We're on the scene. Garage sale is pretty high up there, I will say. Okay, we're gonna go off a little off topic here. When I first was watching The Office, I was watching it, and I thought Steve Carell was gonna go through the whole series and be there for the whole series. I thought he was gonna keep being throughout the whole show. And I was watching little snippets on YouTube before I even watched it on Netflix. But later on, we did get Netflix, so I had to go back and rewatch everything all over again. And my mom was never on board with watching The Office, so that's why I had to watch it on YouTube. But essentially, when I was watching those little snippets and clips, I would see little clips of Holly and them. And, one of those clips that came up was this episode. Like a little snippet of Michael leaving. And I was like, oh, okay. This is going to be the last episode of the show, right? Oh, how wrong I was when I was watching this for the first time. Like, actual watching it through on Netflix. I don't know if I'm explaining this right. I hope I'm making sense. But basically, I watched this, and I was watching it, and then it started showing Michael proposing to Holly, and Michael once those sprinklers came on, that's when I was like, holy shit, oh my god, that is this episode. Michael is not gonna stay in this whole series for very long. And I was so devastated, because I'm like, what the hell are they gonna do for the next 2 more seasons? But at the time I wasn't really worrying about that. But like, I was losing my mind. I was so sad, because at the end of this episode, I was like, damn, that shit got me, and I actually cried. So I was like, this is a pretty good episode, and this is kind of when I started falling in love with kind of. Well, I fell in love with The Office like kind of long before I started watching this episode, but basically I fell in love with watching the whole Office and rewatching it over and over again. Because I watched the show like at least 5 times. Like, I binge watched it before it got taken off Netflix, but now I have the disc versions. The disc version, so now I would go and rewatch it whenever I want, I guess. But yeah, so I give it a thing. So that was a quick little story time. But anyways, on the next episode we have Training Day. I will put it. I'd put it in good, not great. Probably a little bit lower. I don't know. For me, Training Day it's good. It's great with Will Ferrell. I really like it, but I like their dynamic that they made with Will Ferrell as being introduced in this as this character to replace Michael. But I don't like it. I don't like the fact that we just made these last few episodes so really good. Then you hit us with this, in which Michael's just basically trying to split back and forth on whether he should leave or he should stay still, and basically he's getting held on to the fact that everybody, that his coworkers are sucking up to the new boss, and basically they're not really treating Michael with respect, but treating the new boss with respect because he's the new boss, and he's really like turning out to be kind of this whole cool person, and basically just trying to suck up to him, and I don't know. I do like that, but Michael's just basically thrown off, and he just doesn't like that. He's not getting as much kind of spotlight shown on him as he usually would, and people just sound annoyed with him, and that's something that he doesn't like. But it's an okay. It's all right. It's nothing too crazy, but I'd still rewatch it sometimes. Last Michael's Last Dundies. Michael's Last Dundies. I almost said the last episode. I was like, I don't think that's the last episode. Michael's Last Dundies. I will put it in a really constant. Well, it is going to be in a constant rewatch. I'll put it high up there, probably by Todd Packard. Michael's Last Dundies. I really like it. That last scene, them all singing, I love it. Made me cry. I really enjoy this episode. Basically, Michael teaching Will Ferrell, D'Angelo's character, basically how to run the next Dundies from here on out, and basically Michael's trying to make it this big, exciting thing, and essentially it's such a good kind of like a drift off, and it's like a nice setting to set up for the next few episodes of Michael kind of leaving the office. And I like these. I like this dedicated season to get Michael back in love, and then send him off. I also don't like that they did this for the last season, but they could have brought Holly back a little bit more earlier, but it's okay. I digressed. But anyways, we've come to the greatest episode of all. Goodbye, Michael. Makes us cry every time. Might just be me, but I will say Goodbye, Michael is probably one of my top favorites. And I really enjoy this episode. The character of Michael leaving. And all these episodes are such good episodes and wouldn't be here without Michael. And I really enjoy that. Well, I don't really enjoy that he's leaving, but I really enjoy the journey that we went on to get here. And it really shows Steve Carell's performance that he didn't like. It shows that he didn't really want to leave, but he's like, I got to, contracts up, we gotta go. So yeah, Michael just going around to the office trying to have little moments with everybody, and trying to have at least a little bit of spur of the moment with everybody. And it just he's just trying to say goodbye to him, because he lies to them that he's leaving tomorrow, but he ends up leaving that day at the end of the day. And that scene with John Krasinski and Steve Carell, I'm like, oh my gosh, that shit got me. So, goodbye, Michael. It's a pretty good episode. In the next episode, we have Inner Circle. Okay. Yeah, it's I think we'll leave it right here. I think this is okay. I'm going to describe this as best as we can. Yeah, everything just starts falling off after Goodbye, Michael. For me, I really enjoy The Office, but After Michael leaves, everything kind of goes downhill. I'm a big stan for most of the Office stuff, but it just most of the things that the choices that the writers make in these next few seasons in the next few episodes, they don't hit for me. They don't really do anything except well, the next two episodes. The next two episodes are not bad. Dwight acting manager, I'd put it high up there. It's really good. Basically, Dwight is taking over as acting manager because D'Angelo got knocked out in this episode, and basically D'Angelo was basically being a misogynist and he's being a real asshole, and basically having a in a group with just a bunch of guys, and just he was just has like such an ego, and Jim like he doesn't touch on that. Jim challenges him. He's like, "Hey, why don't you just make a slime dunk yourself?" So he's like, "Okay," and then he jumps on the goal, and the goal ends up falling on him, and it's a whole big accident. So they had to take him away in an ambulance, and then starting in this episode, Dwight is the now acting manager, but he shoots a gun, and everybody is going crazy. And and also Aaron breaks up with Gabe in Michael's Last Dundies. So Dwight in this one, when he shoots the gun, Andy has to be taken to the hospital, and Gabe has this weird moment of where he's like, he gets really jealous of Aaron, and he's like, no, don't help him. And basically Daryl takes him to the hospital. And this is also when Joe is basically going to make Dwight officially manager, but he tells her, and he does the right thing and just says, hey, I shot a gun in here, I'm so sorry. But then so basically she just demotes him, and they're like, hey, we need to find a new manager for this branch because, shit's not going to go well with Dwight. That's when we start off with Search Committee. It's an okay. It's good, not it's a good, not great. It's basically following them trying to find a boss, and I like the cameos. I like the basically everything that goes on in this episode. Them trying to find potential managers. I do kind of wish that we kind of seen a little bit of these managers kind of played out in these actors, but I guess they'll leave that to us imagining. They end up settling on Robert California, the guy who plays as Ultron, and he's okay. I do like how uncomfortable he kind of makes the audience feel, and basically I'll leave it to the next video to handle why I don't like that. And also Andy. But essentially, that's the last episode of the season, and so far, I'm enjoying my list. I enjoyed this season. This season was probably one of my favorites, and but I'm gonna toss it on to you. Tell me what you think down below. Do y'all like my tier list? Do y'all hate my tier list? And I will catch you all on the next one, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all later. The name's Bond, Santa Bond. I'll take an eggnog, shaken not stirred.